Hello, welcome to Little Book of Jackets. My name is Sucheta, and here I review Chanel jackets. I mainly review pre-loved Chanel jackets from older collections that I own. And the goal of this channel is to help you as a buyer to make a more informed decision, especially if you're buying a Chanel jacket that A, you have never seen it in person, never touched it, never felt it, and B, you're buying from a source where you cannot return it. I'm here to show you the details, the buttons, the tweed, like all of it, so that when you're buying it, you can buy it with confidence and feel comfortable about your decision. Today, we are going to review the famous Paris and Rome collection jacket from 2016. So this is the brown one. I think the black version is, of course, way more famous, but the brown one is just as sought after among Chanel lovers and collectors. And I wanted to review this. So let's get into it. Okay, so here it is. This is my 2016 Paris and Rome Chanel jacket in the brown colorway. I saw this jacket for the first time on Instagram on Yasmin. Yasmin, she's based in Dubai. She's not an influencer. She works full time, but she has an impeccable style. So, of course, as a result, she ends up influencing. When I saw it on her, it looked beautiful. I've also seen it on the Instagram feed of Timeless Luxuries, where they have offered it for resale several times. And I purchased this jacket a few years ago from an eBay reseller. Her handle is Vintage Heritage. And I have purchased other items from her as well. So I purchased this as a suit. Like there's a mini skirt and there's this. I purchased it together. And I believe I paid somewhere around $5,000 at the time. Could be a little bit more, but somewhere in that range. It's a beautiful jacket. It looks absolutely gorgeous in pictures. There's no doubt about that. When it comes to how it looks in person, I have opinions about it. So let's do this. So let's look at the fit of this jacket. This is a size 40. I don't know if it's been altered before. Didn't seem like it. So when I purchased the jacket, I was about 20 pounds heavier and it fit me better. Right now, it's a little bit big on me, I feel like. I don't like my jackets to be excessively roomy, especially on the top, because I'm very small chested, as you can see. I like my jackets to fit really well. I actually prefer if they're tight enough where they don't button. So the fact that there's this much overlap, I think, like I said, it's a little bit too big for me. Right now, I am 125 pounds and I'm 5'1". So I'm fairly short and kind of petite. So, and this is 40. This is how it looks on me. 38 probably would be perfect. There are certain jackets where I purchased 36 and that works too. Okay, so let's start by looking at the buttons. So you can see the Chanel buttons on this jacket. They're absolutely gorgeous. They have that little kind of almost like a lacy detail to it. As you can see, they're very intricate. There's a lacy pattern on the button itself. There are some details on the side of the button. And as you know, Chanel just always makes some of the most beautiful buttons for their jackets. So the buttons are absolutely gorgeous. There's a CC logo in the middle. And you can see that the yellowness of the gold is very similar to some of the older like Chanel handbags or even Chanel jackets. It's a very yellow, kind of warm, 24 karat plated gold looking button. Chanel no longer does this depth in their gold on their jackets, I feel like. And of course, I haven't seen every Chanel jacket that's out there, but the ones that I've seen just do not have this level of depth in the gold buttons. And I just love this so much. It works really well with my skin tone since I am brown. I like yellow gold jewelry, even though this actually is this is a vintage necklace, but it's not as, this one is still a deeper yellow than my necklace. So if you look at this particular jacket, this is a much older jacket. So you can see that the gold is very comparable between the vintage jacket and this one from 2016. In fact, this one is even deeper in color. I have this vintage pin that I bought at a flea market for like $5. And I feel like that gold is probably closer in depth. Again, beautiful, deep, gorgeous gold buttons. I absolutely love that about it. So this is something I just noticed as I was reviewing this jacket, even though I have owned this jacket for several years at this point. So you can see that Chanel has used 3 different size buttons for 3 different locations on one jacket. So this is the button, the largest one that you see on the front next to the trim. Then this button is on a pocket, and then this button is on the sleeves. So 3 different sizes of the same button on a jacket. I don't know if this is a standard practice for Chanel, to be honest with you, but if anybody can pay such attention to detail, it's got to be Chanel. And like I said, they have done a fabulous job with this jacket. Then you have 4 pockets, feature of a classic Chanel jacket. This is a classic Chanel jacket. Then you have the beautiful trim with the woven ribbon throughout. And you can see that and how the ribbon is just its own thing that's woven throughout. So you have that in the front and then around the neckline. And then you also have it on the sleeves. So I'm not sure if it's the wool or the Angora or the mohair, whatever that might be the reason, but this wool feels extremely coarse. It feels like a potato sack. I'm sure I'm going to hurt people's feelings. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Again, this is my opinion. Take it or leave it. But I'm kind of a snob about how things feel, like the texture of things. Like, of course, if you touch the interior of the jacket, it's a gorgeous silk. It feels luxurious. You feel the outside of this jacket and it feels rough. It's coarse. It's like a potato sack, jute. Like, those are some of the things that I can think of when I think of the texture of this jacket. And there's a reason for it. I mean, as you can see, it's a very loosely woven tweed. You can literally just pick individual threads on it. This kind of reminds me of when you go to Michael's and you buy those big yarns and you weave them with a big needle. Those are acrylic, so they're actually softer. So this tweed feels very, very coarse. I do not like the feel of it. Of course, another challenge with the tweed is that it gets kind of hairy. You can see the flyaways that you get on this tweed. This doesn't bother me. Yes, it's a pretty fuzzy looking tweed if you look up close, but in general, overall, I don't think it looks bad. You don't see all the fuzziness unless you are specifically looking for it. So I'm going to show you the interior of the jacket, and you have a very classic Chanel construction. As you can see, it's got multiple panels in the back, and they're all sewn in together. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the way Chanel constructs its jackets, but every panel that you see on the inside has a corresponding panel on the outside. But because Chanel does such an impeccable job with matching the pattern, you cannot really tell. So the number of panels that you see on the inside, I think there are like 8 or 9 of them in the back. You have the same number of panels on the outside, but you cannot really tell. It looks like one solid piece. So absolutely gorgeous, your typical Chanel tailoring. Now, the color of the silk, I would say it's like green, kind of taupey color, very neutral and absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, it's silk. If you look at the chain, of course, is that deep gold. The gold on the chain is not as deep as the buttons, I'm going to say. Of course, it's close enough for the interior, but you can see the buttons are just much deeper gold. But it's a beautiful chain, stitched beautifully, nice and solid into the jacket. Does not move or anything like that. Love it. Okay, so let's look at the composition of the tweed. We have 65% wool, 12% cotton, 12% acrylic, 4% Angora, 3% mohair, 2% silk, and 2% polyamide. And then your lining is always 100% silk with Chanel jackets. So keep that in mind. Some of the fictional jackets that you will see online will have an acetate lining, and it always makes me laugh. When it comes to pairing this jacket with different t-shirts or shirts under it, I personally prefer just plain old black. So this is a t-shirt that I got from Neiman's, this Majestic Paris. I just love these. They're expensive. Not a fan of the price, but I love how they look and feel. And I always pair my Chanel jackets with these Majestic tees. And I'm wearing short sleeves today but long sleeves is what I prefer. What I like about the Majestic tees is that the neck line is lower. I don't like my t-shirt neckline above my jacket neckline. That's my personal preference. But in terms of color combinations, this is a Majestic t-shirt that I got. It's more of a seasonal color. I don't think they offer this regularly, but I feel like this would be a great match together because that little bit of tan looks really well with this color. It's a really pretty color. Also, I would totally pair this with a gray. You can pair it with tan, you can pair it with black, this jacket, or you can pair it with gray. My preference is black because I just like the high contrast. So this is what I mean when I say that I don't like my t-shirt that's under the jacket to be up here. I like it to be lower. It can be a little bit higher than that. I have a tee from Kohl's that I paid like $10, and that really works as well. So again, that's the thing of Chanel jackets. You can just pair them up with simple t-shirts that look amazing. Okay, so I have shown you all the details of the Paris Syndrome jacket in the brown colorway, and now I am going to share my personal rating of all those factors. So I rate every Chanel jacket on 5 different factors, and the rating is from 0 to 5 stars. So I rate the buttons, the look of the tweed, the feel of the tweed, the cut of the jacket, and the wearability of the jacket. All these factors I rate them on. So let's start with the buttons. So when it comes to the buttons, I rate this jacket to be 5 out of 5. The buttons are absolutely gorgeous. They have beautiful details. The color is beautiful. It's very quintessential Chanel jacket buttons. So I would rate them to be 5 out of 5. When it comes to the look of the tweed, I think the tweed looks absolutely gorgeous. It's a neutral without being just plain black or, taupe or beige or navy. It has pattern, but the pattern is not too chunky. So the pattern is intricate. I just love it. The look of the tweed, I would rate it to be 5 out of 5. When it comes to the feel of the tweed, I'm going to rate it 1 out of 5. I feel like this tweed feels very coarse, unpolished. It does not feel luxurious. So the hand of the fabric is not upscale and luxurious. When it comes to the cut of the jacket, again, I would probably rate this to be 4 out of 5. It's a very standard, boxy cut Chanel jacket. So I personally prefer more of the curvier cut jackets, but this is very classic. I would say 4, not 5. I have certain jackets that fit so much better on me that I would rate them to be 5. So when it comes to the wearability of this jacket, the way I like to think about it is, can I wear this jacket pretty much anywhere? And the answer is yes. So I don't work in a formal environment. In fact, I work in a factory, or I am generally in a construction trailer. So either one of those places, would I wear this jacket? Absolutely. I will not look out of place wearing this jacket. Will I go to the grocery store while I'm wearing this jacket? Absolutely. I would have no problem running into the grocery store, picking something up really quickly in this jacket. Because if I wear it with tights or jeans like I'm wearing today, it does not look super formal. So I love that about this jacket. That way I can get more wear out of it. Whereas my Chanel Egypt jacket, it's very formal looking. It's very luxurious. It's very upscale. And that's not something I can wear to the grocery store where I'm just grabbing something or running errands. It does look a little bit out of place in certain places. So whereas this one looks perfectly fine at work, grabbing drinks with friends, going to the grocery store, or anywhere. So 5 out of 5 for wearability for this jacket. So this is my comprehensive review of the Chanel jacket, Paris Syndrome collection, brown colorway. And if you have any thoughts, any feedback, anything you want me to add for future videos, please leave it in the comment. I would love to address that. I would love to help you guys. That's really the goal of it. And I will see you later. Thank you so much.